information 30 years ago, it could have been a whole different outcome. A lot of us, we have increase in debt. We live in America where, there's good debt and bad debt, but we need to understand what's good debt and bad debt so we can leverage it. Most of us are living paycheck to paycheck. It is what it is. I didn't say it. The stats said it. And on top of it, we have no emergency fund set up. If something happened today, we need to put our hand on 5,000, 10,000. Well, now we're doing GoFundMe, or we're passing the collection plate, or we're asking to borrow, right? And there's no goals. A lot of us, we don't really set goals. We're just living. We're just going about it as life goes by. But we're also spending a lot, right? We're spending more than we're making, some of us, or we're not prioritizing. And then on top of it, who wants to budget? Ain't nobody got time to be budgeting. We don't like budgeting, right? Budget is not sexy. We don't want to think of budget, because when we hear the word budget, we think we're restricting ourselves from spending money. So all of these are to say we have bad money habits, and because we have bad money habits, we're not able to make poor decisions. We're not able to make good decisions. So we're making poor decisions, and that's going to add up. But what do the wealthy know that the rest of us do not? This is what I wanted to know 8 years ago. What is it that these people know and are doing different? Let's find out, right? We're going to find out today. So the good news is people are living longer. Yes, there's challenges with the aging world, right? But we're living longer. That's the good news. We're living longer. We have lower birth rates. We have more single parents, increasing health concerns, right? Just spoke with 2 people today who unfortunately got diagnosed with, cancer. One is a rare form of cancer, and now they're going to need a transplant. And then we have, they say, a housing crisis, or I live here in New York where everything is astronomical. And who's talking about wealth transfer? We're not even thinking about generational wealth, right? We're barely getting by, and we're not thinking about, okay, if something happened to me, how am I preserving this for the next generation? So there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to money. A lot of us were dependent on Social Security. We can't wait to get it. But guess what? The wealthy people are not talking about Social Security. They're not hurrying up to try and cash out on Social Security. They understand taxes, and they know where to put their money to make more money. So are you too busy during the first half of your life to prepare for the second half? So some of us, if we're still in that first half, this information is going to be a game changer for your later half. And if you're already in your later half, well, there's still some things we can do to preserve what you've accumulated. So when it comes to building a solid financial foundations, first we got to set goals, but we want to take action. So how do you build a solid financial foundation? It first starts with proper protection. Odetta, what do you mean by protection? Well, if you get sick today, and you cannot work for a year, 9 months, 2 years, how are you holding up financially? If you pass away prematurely, God forbid, what happens after you're gone? If you have a wife, a husband, kids, grandkids, dependents, right? And you're also protecting your money, because we live in America, where there's a stock market where you could make money, but you could also lose money, or there's different investment that you could make money or lose money, right? You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to lose. So it first starts with proper protection. We should have 10 times your income. So let's say you're making $50,000 a year, you should have things in place for 10 times that income. Second layer to building a solid foundation is minimize your debt. Unless it's a good debt, or unless you're using these people money to make more money, which is where Dr. Braxton comes in. And on July 23rd, like I said, you guys are going to get more info about that, right? Where you want to now start leveraging if you're going to put yourself in debt to make more money. But most of us, our biggest debt is our house, right? Second to that is probably going to be your car and credit cards, which doesn't really put money in your pocket, right? The third building block of building a foundation is your emergency fund. We should have ideally 6 months of emergency. 6 months. But are most of us having 6 months? Probably not, right? And then the last part is investment. 20 times your income. So most people, they have their financial house backward. Everybody wants to invest, they start with investing. And if
I'm so sorry. What was that last part for the house? I just missed that, like, one piece when you said the last part. You can repeat that, please.
When it comes to building your financial house, most people have it backward. They have investment first, and then all the other layers. But this is the correct way to build your financial house. Protection. What are we protecting? Sickness, debt, life challenges that's going to be thrown at us. So many things we're going to be hit with in this lifetime, right? So we want to make sure that we are prepared if something were to happen financially. If something happened and you cannot work for a year, well, guess what? You ain't got a job. And if you don't have a job, how are you paying the mortgage? How are you paying the rent? How are you paying all of these things that still needs to be paid, even though you're ill, right? Debt, emergency fund, investment is at the top. But again, most people have it backwards. They start with investment and they have no idea because they didn't teach us how to invest money in school. They didn't teach us personal finance in school. So some of us are going to do good with the investment and some of us are going to not do good. And even the ones who did good, what if I tell you, you woulda, shoulda, coulda done better had you known this information. So this is financial concept called the X curve. What the X curve tells us is that in the beginning stage of your life, we have a lot of responsibilities. And because we have a lot of responsibilities, we want to make sure that we have certain things in place, God forbid, to cover the debt, to cover your 10 times income, your mortgage, if you own a house, or if you don't own a house, right? You got to pay rent. Nothing is free in America, right? And then, of course, if you have kids, their education, if they want to go to college. Even if they don't want to go to college, this is more money that we have access to. Now, in the later years, hopefully, because we did the right things in the first half of our life, the second half, we have wealth. And because we have wealth, well, that's a good thing. Now, there's a wealth formula, guys. There is a wealth formula. And the wealth formula says, it first starts with money. We got to have money. How much money? That's a whole different thing, but you got to start with money. Now you're going to give this money time. You see, when I sit with clients and they say, well, Dad, I got 10,000. What can I put it in to flip it real quick to make 20,000 in like 2 years? No. Right? No. We're not doing no get rich quick scheme. No. The formula for building wealth, you have some money. You put the money somewhere. You give it time to grow. Where are you going to put that money? We got to look at the rate of return, the interest. How much interest am I getting on this money? And we also got to watch out for inflation and taxes. Inflation is the silent killer. That is what's going to erode your wealth. You got to put your money in places where the interest is higher than inflation. Otherwise, you're just keeping up and nothing is getting cheaper as we get older. And then taxes, another silent killer. So I have a lot of clients who already retired and they have all their money in tax later account. And now they're dealing with the ramification of, you know what? Oh my God, I had no idea I'm going to pay all these taxes. Wealth. That's the wealth formula. How many of us know anything about this wealth formula? How many of us have ever heard about the wealth formula? Now, you see, I never heard about this, but I was always pondering 8 years ago, what is it that the wealthy people are doing? What is it that people who have money, like, okay, maybe they got a good job, maybe they have a business, but what is it that they know? Well, guess what? Now I know the wealth formula. But knowing it is part of the equation. You got to implement it. Now, we talk about your debt, right? And I'm not going to go too much into debt, but when you guys come on July 23rd with Dr. Braxton, that we're going to talk about using credit, right? Maximizing using debt to make more money. Oh boy, I cannot wait myself, right? To learn from him. But did you know that an extra $100 can dramatically save time and reduce your debt? A lot of us, we have bad debt. Let's just face it. We got the debt that's not putting money in our pocket. We got the debt that's taking money out of our pocket. So what this page tells us is by you simply putting an extra $100 to your debt, you can become debt-free sooner. So when you are enrolled in our workshop, we teach a workshop on getting out of debt, managing your debt, right? When it comes to money, there's 3 rules. Here's another concept that I've never ever learned. The first rule to money is you gotta understand compound interest. You see, a lot of us heard about compound interest, but how does that tie into your money? So compound interest says, Albert Einstein, a genius, created this, NatalDataKing.com, right? You're gonna take the number 72 and divide it by the rate of return, which is the interest. What interest are you getting? It matters. Because when you understand the rule of 72, you're going to be mad that you didn't know this earlier. So let's say you're getting 6%. 72 divided by 6 is going to take your money 12 years to double. So your 10,000 is going to take 12 years to 20, another 12 years, 40, another 12 years, 80, and so forth. Now, what if you're getting 8%? Or what if you're getting 10%? At 10%, now your money is doubling every 7.5 years. Guys, I want you to think about this. How many of us have been in this country for 30-something years and has our money double, triple, and quadruple? Has your money double, triple, and quadruple? It didn't for me because I didn't know this information. And I love saving money. And Miss Helen said it herself. She grew up on Susu. She grew up in box hand. Imagine if she was just putting some money. Yeah, keep doing your Susu because maybe that's cultural. That's you know, whatever we do as Guyanese or other cultures does it. But what if you were also doing this because you understood how money worked? And you said, you know what, okay, Odette, I'm just going to put a little 200-300 over here and let it compound and grow. And in 35 years, this is it, right? But you can still do your Susu because that's what you're comfortable and that's what you know. But when you know better, you do better. So at a 10%, your money is doubled every 7.5 years. Man, I am mad because I'm in this country almost 30 years. 30 years. Had I known this, I could have had more. This is why when people tell me, Odetta, I'm good, I still want to talk to you. Because you might be good, but if you had known this information, you would have been better. So here's an example. If you save $100 and you're getting 5% interest, but now you got to pay tax on that money. Let's say it's 25% in income tax. You net after tax 103.75, but inflation is 3%. So your actual return is really $100.75. Who's teaching this? Who's doing this math? Who's thinking about inflation? Who's thinking about taxes? Nobody. Or even if we do think about it, How is it affecting our money? So for me, it tells me, hey, I got to put my money in accounts where I'm getting a high enough interest to beat inflation, and I got to always make more money because things are going to continue getting expensive. Nothing is getting cheaper. So guys, 6% exists, 8% exists, 10% exists. But where? Not in the bank, which is where all of us are putting our money. The second rule to money deals with growing it, right? As the money is growing, we got to protect it. So most of us, we have our money in a fixed account. That is the bank. All day, every day, your money is safe. But it's not going to grow a lot. Then some of us say, you know what, I'm going to get a lot of growth because I'm investing my money. And now we put our money in a variable bucket, which goes up and down with the stock market. You could make a lot of money, but you could also lose a lot of money. And as my t-shirts say, this is why you're broke, right? Because if we don't know what we don't know, you could be rich today and poor tomorrow. You could be rich now and broke in your retirement years, right? Variable account, the money is going to grow, yes, when the market is up, but the money is also going to go down when the market goes down. So I also have clients that are retired and they're still losing money because their money's in the stock market. Third bucket is your index. Your index account is a hybrid. It's a combination of fixed, safety on your money, and a combination of variable, growth on your money. So you got the best of both worlds. But why didn't they tell us this? Why didn't tell us, hey, you know, there's another option. This option you could grow and you're not going to lose. Why none of us know this information? Put it in the chat. Why none of us know of this third bucket, that your money is safe and it's guaranteed to grow with no loss when the stock market go down? But now that you know, how would you like your money to grow? Because you know where your money is. You know which bucket now your money is because you learn fix. Your money is safe. You're not going to lose, but it's also not going to grow a lot because the interest is fixed and it's little. That's your bank. Your 0.0 whatever we're getting, or 1% or 2% for some of us that have a high yield saving account. Now, this tells us from since 1928, S&P 500. The blue box shows you the rise and the purple block shows you the fall. We know this. I don't have to show this chart. Just go look at your statement. There's some months you made money. Sometimes you lose money. Remember the dot-com crash in 2008? What if you were scheduled to retire in 2000? Or the great crash in 2008, or the COVID in 2019. What if those years you had $1 million in the market? Would you have still had $1 million? No, you would have lost money. So here's what they're also not teaching us. This concept in finance, average versus actual. So the average says, okay, let's say you earn 10%. Year one, let's say on the average column, negative 10%, your money went down, plus 10 the next year it went up. So when we put the numbers, when we put the actual dollar amount to these percentages, it tells a whole different story. Because if you have $100 minus 10% because the market went down, now you're at $90. And let's say the next year the market goes up 10%, or maybe the next month the market goes up 10%. Well, it's 10% of $90. So you still down. You still down, right? And most people think, well, if the market went up, I'm doing good. No, right? Because nobody's really paying attention to this. Example number 2, let's apply with 20%. Your same $100, the market went down 20%, now you're down to $80. The market went back up 20%, and you think, oh, that I'm good. No, you're not. Because it's 20% of $80. You see, when you put the dollar number to it, it tells a different story. So even with a 20%, you're still behind. You don't have your $100. You only got 96. This was like eye-opening to me, understanding that, wait a minute, because I never did the math. I'm thinking, okay, the market went up, so I'm doing good. No, you're still behind. Now, what if it's 50%? $100, market went down 50%, you got $50. The market went up 50%. It's 50% of $50. Guys, you see what's going on here? They're not going to teach you this. So when people say, oh, the market went up, I'm good, you're still behind. You don't have your $100. So there's a difference between average return and actual return. We want to know the actual return, and that you're not going to see in your 401k statement. That you're not going to see on your IRA statement. You're not. And it's not their job to educate you either. Right? So we talk about inflation, which is another one that's going to decrease our wealth that we have to be on the lookout for. Because again, everything is going to go up. Nothing is going to get cheaper the longer you and I live. In the 70s, the average cost of living, a new home, oh my God, don't you wish we had bought more homes in the 70s, right? $23,400 was the national average. In the 90s, $123,000 for a home. Today, average nationwide, over $500,000. Guess what? 20 years from now, 10 years from now, it's still going to keep going up. So this tells us we got to watch out for inflation. You think you have a lot of money, but as the longer we live, things are going to get more expensive. What will your $100 do in the next 20 years? 5 years from now, your purchasing power, that same $100 is only going to be worth about $86 that you can buy goods and services. So you actually have to have 116 to get $86 worth of goods and services. In 10 years, that same $100 decreases the purchasing power. Now you're down to 74. So you actually need to make more money. You need to spend more money. And in 20 years, that same $100 that we have today is going to be equivalent to like only going to get $55 of goods and services. So we got to make more money. So what if you have $4,000 a month you're making? In 20 years, that $4,000 per month right now is really going to be $7,224. You need to make more money because things are going to get more expensive. Let's talk about taxes. We live in America where the tax game is serious. This is another one that will rob you and I from money if we don't understand where to strategically put our money. There's 3 buckets for the taxes. Tax now account, you're going to pay anywhere between 15 to 25% in taxes. This is today's numbers. 10, 15, 20 years from now, of course, we don't know what's going to happen, but most likely it's going to be up. So tax now account, these are your checking, your savings, CD, stocks, mutual fund. It is what it is. You get paid at your job, they're going to take money out from your paycheck, tax it. You put money in these accounts, any capital gains, your money grow, you're going to pay tax on the growth. Tax later, these are your traditional investment retirement accounts that we get at our job. Your 401k, 403b, TSP, 457, all accounts that most people are getting at their job, right? If you're self-employed, you may have opened an IRA or you may have a SEP IRA. Some people have annuity, pension, TSP. These are taxed later. So again, ask yourself this question. in 20, 25, 30 years, are taxes going to go up or is it going to come down? So if it's going to go up, because all indication tells us, because the country is in trillion of debt, if all forms of taxes are going to go up, how much you get to keep is the bigger question. Because if your 401k right now has $1 million today, and you're not ready to retire, or let's say you are ready to retire, you still don't have $1 million because that money was never taxed. You have to pay tax. You got to pay tax. We're not telling you not to pay your taxes. We're showing you where to put your money to legally pay the least amount of taxes. When you understand this information, that taxes will go up in the future and things are going to get more expensive in the future, inflation. Tax advantage, this is the account buckets that you want to put most of your money in, because tax advantage is 0%, zero taxes in the future. You pay your tax today, and whatever growth you get in these accounts, no tax in the future. How many of us ever knew this? Or when you were working for the last 20, 30, 40 years, would HR tell you anything like this? No. HR is not going to tell us. And it's not their business to tell us either. They're not financial advisors. They're not financial professionals. So for me, I found out this information. Miss Helen found out this information, and our job is to teach this to our community. Because some of us might be getting it late, but you got kids, you got grandkids. We could strategically start positioning ourselves so in the next 35 years, they could be better than us. Or the next 20, 25 years, whatever it is. So knowing tax impact of your money is important. You could have a lot of money, but if that money has to be taxed, and that money is going to go down when the market go down, that's going to impact your future, good or bad. So, saving your future. Let's say you're making $60,000 a year. Everybody says, well, Ladetta, how much should I save? How much should I save? Minimum 10%. Minimum 10%. Because everybody else is getting 90%. Or let's say you're a church person, you're faith-based, and you give your 10% tithes. So 10% to the church, 10% to yourself. Pay yourself first, 10%. Everybody else is going to get the money. The bills is going to take it. The shopping is going to take it. The trips is going to take it. So if you're making $60,000 a year and you set aside just 10% in an account, we're going to show you where it's going to grow, where you never lose, and it's tax-free. In an account that grows, let's say you have $500 a month, which is $17 a day. That's your 10% of your 60K if you're making 60K. If you're making more, you could plug the numbers in. What is 10% of whatever your salary is? And let it compound over time. So in 30 years, what would that $500 a month do? It becomes almost $800,000. Now you may say, Odetta, I got $800,000, so I did good. Yeah, you did good, but you could have done better. Yeah, you did good, but you would have, should have done better. Done better. Done better. This is what I find myself saying every day to people. Odetta, I'm good. Yeah, you good, but you would have, should have, could have done better had you known this information. It's not too late for a lot of us, right? And what if that money was earning you 10%? Now you got over $1 million tax-free. Tax-free money. I don't like when I see people have like over $1 million in certain types of accounts, because I know. I'm like, damn. You know how much tax they gonna pay? You know how much taxes they gonna pay? And hope and pray the stock market don't drop either, because now you're going to lose money on the stock market side. So knowledge is not power until it's applied. Some of us are going to get this information and we're going to do absolutely nothing. But you can't say you didn't know. Now you know the information. We got to apply it. So how do we manage our growth? There's this special type of account. It's a IRS 7702 account that every wealthy person, our president has it. Walt Disney has it. A lot of the major corporations have this account. And you're going to understand why. But this account has been around all along. You and I could have this account, but we don't know. And because we don't know, we don't have it. Your money should have 4 things at all time. A high rate of return, high interest. And that interest has to be high enough to beat taxes and inflation. So you want to get a high rate of return. You want to get a high interest rate. Not 2%, 0.0 whatever, 1%, 3%. No, you're losing the money game. That money also has to be safe because we want to manage our risk and preserve the principal. You don't want to have a lot of money today and then you don't know how much you're going to have next year or next 5 years or next 10 years, right? So this account has a safety component that says you will never ever lose your principal. This is why a lot of people do SUSU, because they're not going to lose their principal, but they're also not getting a high rate of return. This account also is tax advantage. And tax advantage, another word for that is tax free. We love tax-free money because tax-free money means you're going to make more money. You're going to keep more money because you're not paying taxes on the growth, right? On the growth. And guys, this is not illegal. This is IRS code 7702. The IRS code 7702. IRS code 7702. The government created this code. They know about these accounts, but they're not going to publicize it because if they publicize it, they can tax this money. So it's not in their best interest to tell all of us, go put your money in this 7702 account. And this account also has a protection on your income, protection on your assets, because if they sue you, especially if you're a business owner, they cannot come after this 7702 account. It is protected. And you also protect your life because let's face it, none of us are going to get out of here alive. We're all going to die someday. We're going to grow old someday. We're going to get sick someday. So we have to put things in place. The number one reason people go bankrupt in America is medical bills, illness, health challenge. Cancer will wipe out your estate in under 2 years. So if we know we're going to get sick, but we don't know when, and if we know we're going to grow old, and if we know we're going to die, why not put things in place today to manage those life challenges and life risk? Prepare for long term. Because if you want to live until age 100, that's going to cost a pretty penny, right? What about disability or any chronic illness? You may not die right away, but what if you get sick? What do you have in place right now that's going to pay you a couple $100,000s and even possibly millions, couple millions of dollars if you get sick? Because in America, if you get sick, can't hard 6 months or a year, you ain't got a job. They're going to nicely tell you, you know what, when you feel better, you could come back. Now you're going to liquidate your savings. Now you're going to liquidate your 401k. Now you're going to liquidate all those other things, which is still not going to be enough. So building your future, when you build in a house, You need to make sure all aspects of your financial house is solid. The foundation, the roof, electricals, plumbing, interior, everybody has to work together. The same applies with your financial house. And right now, before I started with this business, my financial house was looking like the left side. All over the place. I had no concept of retirement. They didn't understand how much I should save, how much I should have. They didn't understand nothing about taxes. Definitely they wasn't even thinking about inflation. And even if I was thinking about it, I wouldn't know what to do or who to go. I wouldn't know. I might be doing budgeting, but do I really know what I'm doing, if it's right or wrong? Right? Do I even know what is estate planning? Why should I even have an estate planning attorney? What should I do? Like, I wouldn't even know any of those things. But you see, when you become part of our financial education campaign and you enroll with us for $125, you're gonna learn. This is not information that we're teaching in school. I'm sad to say, it's bigger, it's above my head. It's above me. If the curriculum, if they say this is what you're teaching, this is what you're teaching. They're not gonna roll this out because they don't want people to know this information. Because guess what? If people know this information, they're not going to incur a lot of student loans. They're not going to graduate with the size of a mortgage and student loan. They're going to know, wait a minute, okay, this interest rate is 4%. Let me do the rule of 72. Let me make sure I pay it out before it doubles. They're going to be better with their money. And I'm talking from personal experience. So when you become a member and you enroll, worst case scenario, you're going to be more educated and empowered to know what's going on with your own finance. 1 year into doing this business, I fired Jason. My financial advisor would walk over for how many, God knows how many years. There's no way Jason would ever tell me this stuff. Because number one, his company doesn't carry this 7702 IRS code account. So there's no way he could have advised me, there's another bucket where your money's going to grow, your money is safe, and you don't pay taxes. He don't even know. He don't even know. Jason don't even know this information himself. Once I start learning this stuff and I start asking Jason, he didn't even know. He was like, Odetta, I'll get back to you. What you mean you're going to get back to me? And when he did get back to me, he still didn't have the answer. So when you become a member and you enroll in our workshop, right? What do you get for $125? Well, number one, you're going to get a financial checkup. Just like how we go to the doctor and get a financial checkup, you're going to get a financial checkup from your neck up, okay? We're going to set some goals. We're going to look at your budget. We're going to look at what's your 5 years, your 10 year, what you got, what's working, what's not working. And at the very least, you're going to know what's going on. I have people that tell me, oh, that I got this, I got that, I got that. And when I start asking deeper questions, they don't know. They don't know, right? But now you're going to know, right? So you're going to get a financial checkup to put your financial house in order. Maybe it's already in order, but there's always something that we find that we need to improve or work on. So we're going to set some goals. A year from now, where would you like to be financially? 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Because if you don't set these goals, life is going to happen. Life is going to life. Life is going to life, right? Do you even have a will? Do you have power of attorney, medical proxy, a trust, right? If you have the will, we can provide a vehicle. So here are some of the workshop topics. You can become part of our financial education platform. For that $125, when you enroll in our curriculum, you're going to learn about money. You're going to get help. You have someone to call, to go over your documents, to ask questions. We do annual check-in, right? So we have an introductory workshop, Finance 101, Saving Your Future, which is what you're seeing right now. Workshop 1, we're going to talk about setting up your savings and building wealth. Workshop number 2, most people got debt, but they have no idea how they're going to be debt free. They're just paying randomly 100 here, 200, 300. No concept of when am I going to be debt free, and no concept of, oh my God, rule of 72 says take the 72 divided by the interest. Let me pay off this debt fast. Unless that debt is making you money. Workshop number 3, preparing with proper protection. Some people have policies, but when you start asking more questions, they don't know, right? Most people got debt policies. A policy that's not going to pay them anything while they're alive, only when they die. So it's not for you, it's for your beneficiary. And that's okay. But did you know that there's other types of policies that will pay you while you're alive with living benefits, right? How about your health, right? Do we have things in place? God forbid if your health fails. How are you building your wealth? How are you building your wealth right now that you know it is solid? Nothing cannot crumble it. No stock market could crash it. No Donald Trump tax tariff could crash it. How are you building your wealth? Now, here's another thing I hear from clients. Odetta, where were you when I had $500,000? Where were you when I had 300,000? So my question to them, where's the money now? Right? So how are you building your wealth to make sure that when you reach a certain age, you have your money? Workshop number 5, understanding asset accumulation strategies. Workshop number 6, fulfilling long-term goals. And workshop number 7, empowering families with our philosophy. You see, at the end of the day, there's 2 things. You can enroll as a member, learn about finance, become a client, and get help with your finance. Or number 2, you could say, you know what? I think I want to learn more, and I also want to teach this to my community. So the route that I took 8 years ago, I came on as a member to learn about money, to learn about my 401k, to understand that 100,000 that I had in the bank that I thought I was doing good. No concept of compound interest. No concept. So financial security is not a dream, it's a priority, because we need money for everything. Money dictates everything. Where you live, what you eat, where you go on vacation, the house you buy, the neighborhood you live in, everything, right? So one more note, will your current situation allow you to reach your goal? What you have right now, based on the little you've heard tonight, are you on track to reach your financial goals? Do you even have goals, financial goals, right? Consider this, making an extra income on a part-time basis. We are looking for people, okay, let me mute this. We are looking for people who wants to learn about this information so that they can go out and teach other families. Because a lot of people don't know this information. So you can make extra income on a part-time flexible basis. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And you could start this part-time. Get licensed and educate more families like Miss Helen is doing, even though she's retired, right? And create multiple sources of income. In this business, which is one business, we have 7 sources of income. So do I need to go start another business or get another job? No, this one business right here gives me 7 income streams. It's one business. Become part of our financial movement, right? So in closing, we want you guys to give us your feedback. You're going to get in touch with the person who invited you, and you're going to let us know what stood out to you. What stood out to you? Do you want to learn more about enrolling in our workshop, paying the $125, becoming a member, client, attend the workshops every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. from the comfort of your home like you are right now on a Zoom? And also start looking at your financial house. Or are you interested in making money? Getting your license in financial services and coming on board with us. So question 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you have kids, that's great. We want to make sure that we set up these kids to become playground millionaire. Title of my fourth book. What is a playground millionaire? This is you saving money and knowing that you'll never ever lose money, regardless of what the stock market is doing. This is you saving money, knowing that you will never ever pay tax on that money in the future. So you're keeping all your gain. And newborn babies today, parents started saving $250 a month, could be a millionaire in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, tax-free, instead of their entire life. You could do this for your grandkids or your kids, right? Do you want to learn more about how money works and build a solid financial foundation? Or are you interested in making more money? Let us know what you're interested in, and we'll take it from there. Now, I want to see by some of you, if you could put in the chat if you are retired, who's retired, or if you're still in the working field. So I kind of have a sense of, the audience that's on the Zoom right now. Are we working? Or are we retired? How many of us? Let's see. Do we got a lot of retirees, or we got people who are still in the field? Okay, let me see. Okay, so it looks like we've got a good mixture. Still working, retired. Okay, we've got a couple of retirees. Nice. So for the folks that are retired, right, I'm going to show you a strategy. If you are already retired and you've been working for the last God knows how long, and you've accumulated, right? You've had your 401k, your 403b, your IRA, whatever accounts. You've had those accounts for the last 20, 30, 35, 40 years. And you've amassed a nice nest egg account. Right now, that money, if you leave it where it is, you could be losing some money. You may not lose a lot, because they say once they're retired, most people, they move their account in a conservative bucket. So you may not lose a lot, but you're still going to lose. What if I show you an account where you're never, ever going to lose? So this is one of our flagship companies that we work with. Everybody knows the jingle. Nationwide is on your side, right? And Nationwide is a top 100 Fortune 500 company. Not top 500, top 100. Okay, 100. So they're pretty up there. So let's say somebody give me an age, and I'm just going to make up a number. If not, I'll make up a number. For those of you that said you're already retired, are you 65, 67? Give me a random age. For the folks that are retired, 68. Okay. So let's say we've got a 68-year-old, right? 68. And this strategy that I'm going to show you, right? Nationwide has a strategy that gives you guaranteed growth on your money. Guarantee. You're never ever going to lose. And let's say somebody has, I'm just going to make up a number. Let's say we have, because we've been working for the last God knows how long, right? And we've been saving in our 401ks, TSP, TDA, 457, all that good stuff. Let's see what this $500,000 would do with a strategy like this. Which again, the reason why I love this business, you are guaranteed to never ever lose money. That's major for me. Nobody will never call me and say, hey, Odetta, you made me invest my money in this thing and I lost some money. No. So Nationwide has this index account that gives you 30%. You see right here? 30%. 30% sign-on bonus. Who is doing this? Are your bank giving you 30% sign-on bonus? Is your 401k or your TDA or 457 giving you a 30%? So upon opening this account, the company gives you 30% sign-on bonus and guarantee right here up to 12 years 9.5, almost 10% interest, compound interest, not simple interest, compound interest. There's a difference. So here, if we scroll, we can see how this money is growing. The 500,000 from day one gives you, when I toggle here, right? 30%, here's your sign-on bonus from day one. When I toggle it, it gives me the dollar amount. From day one, your 500,000 becomes 650,000 because of that 30% bonus, which is $150,000. When the stock market crashed, we help a lot of people with this strategy. Because everything they just lost, they can make it back with this 30% sign-on bonus. And as you can see, with these accounts, you will never have less unless you take money out. I'll say this again. You will never have less unless you take money out. Unless you take money out. Unless you take money out. So as you can see how the money is growing, it is a guaranteed contract, 9.5% every year for the first 12 years. And you might be thinking, well, Odetta, what happened after 12 years? Well, what happens after 12 years is whatever the market does, you're going to get. But you're still not losing. Your money is only going one way up. Whatever the market does, if the market does 5%, 8%, 4%, it's going to go up. It's never going to come down. Even if the market does negative, you're still not going to lose any money because your gains are always locked in to the new number. And if you say, well, Odetta, what happens if the market does more than 9% in the first 12 years? Well, you're going to get it too. The company is guaranteeing 9.5, but if the market does better in the first 12 years, you're going to get the better number. So what do we have to lose? If it go up, we go up. If it come down, we're still up. This is how you protect your future, and it is certain. So even my clients that are super wealthy, they still, once they learn about these strategies, they still say, you know what, okay, I'm going to put $1 million in this account. I'm going to put $500,000 here. I'm going to put 700 here. They diversify and put some money in these buckets because now they understand, wow, I could keep doing what I'm doing, but just shift my money around. Because now I'm going to get more money. I ain't got to worry about losing. And this is how you never run out of money. Because Nationwide says, okay, let's say this person is 68 and they said age 73, you know what, Odetta, I want to start touching my money. I want to start spending my money. Or maybe you want to start spending it right away, 1 year after. You can. You see this last bucket that says income, lifetime income? This is the payout number depending on what year or age you turn on the contract. That's the dollar amount they will pay you for the rest of your life. This is peace of mind. Because you see, if you have this $500,000 where it is and you keep it there, is the likelihood that you're going to run out of money? Is the likelihood that you're going to spend that $500,000 in a couple of years and run out of money? But you see, when you put this money with an insurance contract like Nationwide, which is on your side, and you're getting these guarantees that only insurance company could do it. So you see, they duped us. A lot of us, we think insurance is for burial. This is not anything to do with burial. This is money for the living. So we're teaching people to unlearn all these things that they learn about money. So let's say at age 73, and you could pick whatever age because you clearly see the numbers. What would be the payout? If at age 73 they want to turn on the income, well, remember you started with $500,000, and at age 73 you already doubled your money, over $1 million. And you turn on the income, they pay you $58,837 annual for the rest of your life. So divided by 12 months, that's what you bring in home, or that's what they're going to send you every month. Every month. $58,837 divided by 12 months, almost $5,000, $4,903 for the rest of your life. Guys, I'm nowhere close to retirement, but I cannot wait. When I get to retirement with the information that I have, I already know I'm not going to spend all my money. I already know I'm going to die and leave millions. But I could only say this because I'm in this business and I've learned this information. And I'm not going to be selfish. This is why we teach this to our community, right? So I know you might be thinking, well, Dada, what if I pass away before 73? Or what if I pass away at age 76? Or whatever year? Well, your beneficiary gets the rest of the money. Your beneficiary. So are you really losing? No, you're not. You spend the money first for you while you are alive. You have a lifetime income. And then when you pass, the rest pass to your beneficiary. So what are we losing? But I promise you, if you keep that $500,000 to yourself, you know, is it going to last? Probably not. You're going to spend. Emergencies are going to come up. The grandkids are going to come up. People are going to come up. And you're going to end up spending the $500,000 out way before. It's not going to equate to a lifetime check, right? So if you are retired already and you have money in these buckets because you've saved when you were working, this is what they give you, a 401k, an IRA, and etc. You want to make sure you schedule a one-on-one with us. Reach out to the person who invited you so that they can schedule a one-on-one. We look at your statement. We do a financial needs analysis or a financial checkup to see how we can best help you save and secure your future, right? Your future. Now, some of you that are still in the working field, I'm going to show you another strategy that you can use for yourself, right? Because I believe some of you said you're still working. So if you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, we got something for you too. Oh my God. And if you have kids, boy, we got something for the kids too. If any one of you have minor kids, juveniles, newborn, guess what? We got something for you too. And especially if it's kids, because kids, oh boy, kids are going to be so much more better off. So much more better off. I'm going to show you an account where a mom is saving for a newborn. This newborn is what? Let's say they're 2 years old. 2 years old. Them saving money for their child from 2 years old. What would that look like for this child future? It's crazy. It's crazy. Just knowing this information and putting it into practice. What is that going to do for that child? So most of us, we're saving money for our kids to go to college. But then what happens after college? Then they're just on their own? What happens after college? They're just on their own? Like we're not going to do anything else? They're just going to go off and do whatever they want to do? Yeah. So we're changing that. You see, my nieces and nephews, we have things mapped out for them. Not just at college. way beyond college, right? So here's an illustration. As you can see, the age, 2-year-old, we start saving $250 a month. Just $250 a month. You see this column here that says premium outlay, $3,000, $3,000, $3,000. We're saving $250 a month with no increase. I wouldn't recommend doing this, but I'm just showing you the power of this account, right? When this child is 18, actually let's do 18, right? At 18 years old, if you were saving this money in the bank, because that's where most people have money, in the bank, earning less than 2%. But you put this money in this 7702 account, earning about 10%, and as you can see, the illustration here shows 7.25. This is because we're under promising to over deliver, because we cannot guarantee you're going to get 10% with this particular strategy. It's based on how the stock market performs. But what we can guarantee is you'll never ever lose money, because we have that safety floor. So at 18 years old, age 18, we would have contributed 48,000 right here, 48, 48, 48. And we have access. The two most important column is the cash column, which is the column that we have access to touch money. And the last column, which is the benefit, this is benefit for sickness, and of course, obviously when we pass away. So at 18 years old, we have almost 70,000. And this we just put in 250 with no increase. Again, this is your worst case scenario, because nobody should want to just do 250 forever when we know inflation is going to go up, right? And let's say we continue funding. And at 25, we said, you know what? We're not going to put no more money. No more, no more, no more, no more, no more money. All zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. No more money. We stop funding this account. This is what you guys want to do for your grandkids, right? Or your nieces, your nephews, your godkids, your stepkids, kids, right? We stop funding this account. No more money goes in, but the account is still growing. 124, 132, 141, 150. This is the magic of compound interest. Now, at the age of 35, you want to buy a house. Where's the money for the house? It's right here. Down payment. We're setting these kids up for a lifetime and not just for college. Again, all these zeros. No money went into policy. We funded to age 25 and that's it. Right? Where's the money for the wedding? It's all right here. Where's the money to start a business? It's all right here. Where's the money for, I don't know, whatever? It's all coming from right here. Not a Susu. Susu's not going to do this for you, right? Now at 59-year-old, oh my God, look at this. At 59-year-old, how much money did we put into this account? Somebody put it in the chat. How much money did we put into this 7702 account? What is the number you see for the premium outlay? How much did we put in? At age 59, how much did we put into this account? $66,000 right here. Outlay, $66,000. Guys, I get upset. I get upset that somebody didn't sat with my parents when they came to America, okay? When they came to America, yonder, eons years ago, okay? Oh, Ingrid, oh, Kingy, just put the $100 over here. Just put the 200 over here. Just top up this account and put some money over there and let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. When Odetta turned 35, or when Kevin turned 50, or when ODB turned 40, just open one of these accounts for each one of your kids. Do whatever you can and just put some money for them. When these children turn big, you could take out this money and let it continue it. Just put some money over there. My parents save, especially my mom. My mom saved. My dad, he was little on the party scene, so he'll tell you right now, he had a good life, okay? He enjoyed his money, hanging out and traveling, so he spent his money. But my mom was saving. She was the one that was saving and doing the susu too. Even today, she still tells me, Odetta, you know how much stuff I did with that susu? Yeah, Mom, I believe you. I believe you, Mom. But what if they also were doing the susu and this? I can proudly say, this could have been $1 million for them. Not me. Because I did okay financially. But this could have been $1 million that they could have been using right now for their retirement. Or maybe they would have turned it over to me, and knowing me, I like saving too. I would have doubled down. I would have never stopped. Right? You see, we didn't put any more money here. At 25, 26, no way. I got a job. I start working. I'm making money. I would have taken over this account, and I would have said, you know what, Mommy? Thank you. I'll take it over from here. You could pull out whatever you want to pull out because you started this for me. Take some money for this for your retirement. But today, I'm their retirement. This could have been their retirement. So yes, they started for me. They protected my health. They protected my life. They helped me with money for college, money for this, money for that. That money could have come from this account. It could have come from this account. And now they're ready to retire, and they could have said, you know what, this is my money I was saving all along. You doing good for yourself. I'm going to still keep this account, and I'm going to take some money out, and I want you to go open another account for yourself. So that would have set me up, because now I would have had two accounts. One, yes, Mommy or Daddy would have been taking the money from that one, which is okay. It's their money. Right? So at 59 years old, we would have put in $66,000. And it's over $1 million. Tax free. Who has $1 million tax free? Not in your 401k. Not in your IRA. Not in your 403b. Not in your TSP. Unless it's a Roth. And if it's a Roth, guess what? The government would have limited you on how much money you could put in that account. $7,000 a year. If you're under 50. But guys, guess what? This account that would have opened for me when I was 2 years old, now it could pay me almost $100,000 in retirement. You see? Withdrawals, loans. The withdrawal column, loans. Now I'm taking money out for my retirement. So this one account did everything for me. Or for you. Or for your grandkids. Or for your kids. It would have helped them with school, wedding, down payment of the house, start a business, and then they take over along the way at some point. Once they become responsible and they got their life together and a good head on their shoulder and they're making money. And this account still pays them retirement income. But guys, it gets better, right? Look, we take money out all the way to age 90. We only put in $66,000 and we ended up taking over $2.3 million. Who did this to us? Who did this to us? Who did this to us? Who conned us? Who lied to us? Who didn't give us all the information? Who did this to us? Well, guess what? As long as we don't know, they're making money off of us. Because I promise you, when we put our money with Chase, Wachovia, Bank of America, Citibank, and all those other places, they got their money in this account. They got their money in this account. You don't believe me? I'm going to show you a book that I wish I had wrote. I wish I had wrote this book. I'm going to show you a book that talks about this strategy, talks about this IRS code 7702. This book is titled Money, Wealth, Life Insurance. How the who? How the who? The wealthy. Not poor people, not average people, but the wealthy people. Use. Okay? They use it as a tax-free personal bank. Tax-free. Wealthy people make a lot of money and they don't want to pay taxes. And I don't blame them. So, this book was written by Jake Thompson, right? Not Odetta King. I wish it was. In 2013. And I'm going to show you the chapters, right? I wish I had wrote this book. When I go to the chapters that shows you, there is things in your house, every one of us. Look, J.C. Penney. When the market crashed in 1929, J.C. Penney, then a dry goods store for mining and farms, were severely affected. I'm not going to go through all of this, but guess what? They're telling you, Mr. Penney used his cash value to sustain his business, to prevent the doors from closing. Who else? You love taking your kids and grandkids to Walt Disney? Guess where Walt Disney got the money from to start the Walt Disney? Right here. But what most people don't know is that without his cash, his cash value policy insurance, much of what he built would not exist today. Who did this to us? Who fooled us? Right? Who fooled us? McDonald. Yes, Ray Kroc. Right here. What's most interesting is that Ray relied heavily on cash value insurance to store money. Why was he storing his money? Why was Ray Kroc from McDonald storing his money? For the same reason I just told you guys. These people knew about this stuff. It's been around. Stanford University. Foster Farms. If you want a copy of this book, make sure you get in touch with the person who invited you and they can send this to you. Now, this book was written in 2013. And in 2013, this is how much assets Bank of America had with cash value life insurance. 19 billion. Wells Fargo 17, JP Morgan 10, US Bank 5. Let me ask you something. Do you think the numbers went up now that we're in 2025 or it went down? Put in the chat. Did the numbers go up or down? What do you guys think? Up or down? All the way up. All the way up. They didn't go down. They keep buying more. They keep stacking away more. They keep stockpiling more. Don't believe me? Here's another resource. These resources are third parties. I'm not affiliated with them. They're not affiliated with us. I'm just educating. I'm just out here educating my community. I'm just out here educating my community because we don't know this information. Look, this is a public website. You can Google this for yourself. US Bank locations.com. In 2013, Chase had 10 billion. Let's see, as of today, 2025, March. Chase. The book was written in 2013. Chase in 2013 had 10 billion. Bank of America in 2013 had 19 billion. Let's see how much does Bank of America have today, 2025. Who did this to us? Who did this to us? Who scammed us? Who scammed us? Who fooled us? Because they fooled us real good. They got all of us duped. So while you and I here sitting thinking, oh, life insurance is just for debt, why Bank of America in 2025 went from 19 billion to 24, almost 25? Why did Chase went from 10 to 12? Why? Why they getting more? Think about it. They understand taxes. They understand market risk. They understand inflation. They're protecting. This has nothing to do with burial, my dear. Who did this to us? Who fooled us? Because they did a good job. But you know what? It's not only banks. It's not only banks. You all have things in your house from these companies. I want you to put in the chat. Write in the chat what products you and I have from these companies. And obviously the book can't list all the companies, but what product do you have from one of these companies in your house right now, from one of these companies? Company that own life insurance, billions of dollars from these companies, also have money where I'm showing the mass. So if it's good for the bank and it's good for these companies, how come it's not good for you and I? Who did this to us? Who scammed us? Who fooled us? Write in the chat. What do you have? What do you have from these companies? I see Avon. I see Bed Bath & Beyond. I see CVS. I went to CVS today for my mom. Wow. Yeah. I get stuff from CVS too. My freaking cell phone with Verizon. Like, who did this to us? You think Verizon would ever tell me this? You think Verizon would ever tell you and I this? You think GE would ever tell you this? You think Heinz Ketchup would ever tell you this? Why are they putting so much money in cash value? IRS code 7702. Why? Guys, this business is going to change your life. When you learn this stuff and you go out and you educate families, we don't sell. We don't sell here, we educate. I'm going to educate you, and then you make a decision. This is a financial education business, right? It goes on and on. Talks about Wall Street. So if you want a copy of this book, right, because you're on here tonight, contact the person who invited you, and they're going to give you the copy of this book so you could keep reading and educate yourself. Because as long as we don't know, they're making money off of us. Big time money. You woulda, shoulda, coulda been getting that 12%, 10%, 8%. Your money woulda, shoulda, coulda been doubling, and it's growing, and it's protected, and you don't have to pay taxes. But because we didn't know, a lot of us, 30 years went by. Your money didn't quadruple in 30 years. Then you got your kids coming up. Then you got your grandkids. Some of you might be saying, well, Odetta, I'm already retired. But guess what? We could talk to your son. We could talk to your daughter. We could talk to your daughter to put things in place for themselves and their kids. So the next generation is going to be better and get a head start. And for those of you that are working, again, it's not too late for you. Take advantage of this information and implement it. So again, two things. You're either going to be a client, enroll in our platform, you pay that $125 and you start coming to our workshop every Monday and Thursday. Get help with your own finance. Or you might say, okay, you know what? I'm like Miss Helen, I'm retired. I still got to pay my bills. I still got to pay mortgage. I still got to pay light, gas, water, food, medication. Why not? I'm a teacher. I could teach you stuff even if I help one family a month. It adds up. You're not selling, you're educating, right? And I'm going to leave you with this resource. My website, I'm going to put it in the chat because we have amazing OdettaKing.com/health and wealth, right? Health and wealth. On this website, we have all of our upcoming events that are open to the public. I want you guys to get plugged in and keep learning. The more you learn, the more you're going to earn, right? You're on this Zoom tonight. Every Wednesday, we have webinars open to the public. Open to the public. Every Wednesday at 7:30. You registered tonight. You don't need to register again. You're going to get a reminder. If you can, log on. If you cannot, it's okay. We're here to educate you. Or you can share the link with other members. June 28th, this coming Saturday, at my office, we are having our second pop-up shop. It's going to be from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. I encourage you to come on out. We're going to have 13 vendors. 13 vendors. You're going to be able to shop. We're going to be able to network. There's food, there's drinks, and we have my financial team on deck. We have estate planning attorney, we have real estate attorney, we have mortgage brokers, mortgage lenders, like anything to do with your personal finance. If I don't know it personally, trust me, they're in my Rolodex. When you are in this business long enough and you're super passionate about this stuff, your Rolodex is going to expand. People are going to call you, hey, Odetta, I don't know if you do this, but can you find out? Or can you help me? Or do you know? Right now, one of my clients, she messaged me today to see if I know an attorney in Ohio. I live in New York. Of course I know somebody in Ohio that's an attorney, right? June 28th is going to be fun, but you're also going to continue the conversation and get in person with us so you can meet and feel us and talk to us, right? Next week, Wednesday, July 2nd, we're going to be having a sip and chat. I love to entertain, right? I love good food. I love entertaining. I love networking. I love meeting new people. And this business allows us to meet new people from all walks of life. So next Wednesday, right here in my office, and as you can see, the address is right here at the top, 2174 Nostrand Avenue, right? In our office on Wednesday, next week, 7 p.m., we're going to be having a sip and chat where we're going to continue the conversation about personal finance. We're going to network and we'll have something to eat and drink, right? And talk with you guys, help you with whatever you need, right? All of July, we kick off our financial education orientation. We are looking for educators every Tuesday and Thursday, starting July 10th. So if you know somebody that's a teacher, if you are a teacher, right, or you're an educator in any capacity, on Tuesdays and Thursdays in my office right here in Brooklyn, New York, 2174. I'm an educator. A lot of our faculty, a lot of our fellow teachers, school is going to be closed next week. In fact, I finished teaching like since 3 weeks ago at my university, right? I'm done, right? But a lot of people's schools are going to be closing this week. So guess what? It's summer school. Some teachers, they go off to teach summer school. Some teachers, they don't do anything. Well, for the entire month of July, in my office, right, every Tuesday and Thursday, right here, 2174, right, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m., we have a morning session, and then we have an afternoon session, 2 p.m. So this is where we're going to be opening up to the public to come in and to learn how they too can be part of our financial education movement. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., right? And then, because I'm super passionate with, again, helping our community, on July 16th, this is going to be a webinar. July 16th, it's a Wednesday at 7:30. Myself and one of our educators, Mama Heart, we call her Mama Heart, right? She and I have teamed up. She has 30 years, over 30 years as an educator, and her specialty is college, scholarship, helping families get scholarships. And myself, also over 30 years. When I was writing this, I had to be like, oh my God, I had no idea it was so long I've been teaching. Yes. Thanks to Auntie Yvonne, she made sure at 21, you're not going to be staying home, just like hanging out, go teach. Right? She got me into the teaching business. I'm forever grateful to her for that. So on July 16th, this is going to be a webinar. So if you know people that got kids, nieces, godkids, stepkids, grandkids, Carol Hart is going to show you how to find free money, how to find scholarships, how to apply for these things, and to get funding. Free money, because I can tell you firsthand, my university, they got a lot of free money, okay? A lot of free money. But again, they're not going to make this very easy for you to pick it up, right? If you know, you know, right? So we're going to talk about some funding strategies and how to set yourself up to have scholarships, grants. And if you already have money, well, we're going to show you what to do to hide the money. Because there's also some people that say, hey, Dad, I got the money, I'm going to be okay. You want to hide the money so you could get more money, okay? Because this is what those white boys doing, right? And then on July 23rd, some of you heard Dr. Braxton speak in the beginning. Him and I have teamed up, and he's going to be doing a business and personal, leveraging business and personal credit to unlock funding. So if you are a business owner or you know a business owner, the number one reason most people fail in business is they don't have enough capital, or they start with money but they soon run out of money, or they can't scale or expand their business. They don't understand. They don't know what to do when it comes to finding money and leveraging credit and so forth. So I am super, like, listen, him and I was on the phone today, and the stuff he was telling me was way over my head. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait to hear you speak on July 23rd, right? And August 23rd, again, in our office. So guys, this website, I want you guys to save it. And any one of these topics that interest you, you're just going to come here and you're going to register, right? So in closing, I'm going to pass it back to Miss Helen, who's going to give her last words. And again, do not just have this be like over your head and be like, oh my God, this is a lot of information. Take action. Schedule a one-on-one and let's start the process. Let's get the ball rolling. Little money grows to big money, but we got to take action. If whatever you have, we're going to review your stuff and we'll take it from there. Back to you, Miss Helen.
Thank you, Ms. King. So, because we all have to be prepared for when life happens, like Ms. King said in one of her quotes, it's not just about saving money, it's about saving smart, tax-free, risk-free, controlling your finances.